Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So as you can see from the title, today's pick a card reading is going to be all about getting onto your desired timeline so that you can be your dream self and live your dream life. So for this reading, I wanted to set the intention that we are connecting to the version of you in the future who is already living your dream life, so that they can bring you these messages. We're gonna see, of course, what is going on in your life, how does it feel to be living this life, and we'll also get any advice that you may need when it comes to having faith and truly believing in this timeline and this version of you. Even if there may not be that much 3D proof right now, how can you keep moving forward with faith, and how can you best align with this timeline that you're desiring to be on? So there are 4 readings to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one, and please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Calcite. Number 2 is Rose Quartz. Number 3 is Kyanite. And number 4 is Aura Amethyst. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Calcite, this is going to be your reading. So the first thing we need to do is figure out whether this is your group. Like I mentioned in the intro, I want to ask the future version of you who is already on your desired timeline to come forward and share these messages with us today. So I want to just start by asking them to describe their energy with these oracle cards. So if what I'm describing here sounds like you, or it sounds like a version of you that you are becoming, then that will be your sign that you found your group. I did just want to mention too, right before I started filming your group, I had a song stuck in my head, and I don't even know what the lyrics are, but the song is called Let You Do This. So I feel like a major element to you becoming your dream self, it's just about giving yourself permission to do certain things, or giving yourself permission to express yourself in a certain way. It's almost like future you, and I just saw 111. It's almost like future you is saying, I'm right here. I'm right here. I'm just waiting for you to claim me. I'm just waiting for you to give yourself permission to be me. That's really it. And maybe that step is daunting to take, could be kind of scary, but it is simple at its core. It's just like, give yourself permission. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at these oracle cards and see what we have for my lovely group ones. We have Amaryllis. Every time I hear this flower, I think first things first, Amaryllis. That's so lame, but anyway. Determination and creative achievement. Okay, group 1. So the version of you on your desired timeline has reached some level of success in a creative endeavor. Perhaps you have become a star due to your efforts. For those of you who are creative, it's like your gifts are getting recognized. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. Okay, so not only is future you successful in their creative endeavors, they are creating a lot. Like should I be saying they or you? Because I mean, it is you. Okay, I'm gonna say you. Your well of creativity is never dry. It's like you always have ideas. In fact, you may have more ideas than you have time to execute. But rather than this being something that stresses you out, I think it feels like abundance, and it feels like freedom, because at any given moment when you're like, I want to create something, you have so many different ideas that actually excite you and that you could dive into. We do have determination here, so honestly, I'm not worried about you starting things and not finishing them. Determination feels like, I'm going to do what I set out to do. So you have a lot of ideas, but once you pick one and you start on it, you're gonna see it through, provided it's exciting you. Also, I just saw 333. So that's the second angel number I've seen. You can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And this is a quote from Maya Angelou. We have children, Archangel Metatron. I do know in my angel tarot that Archangel Metatron is associated with the Fool card. And I believe in that deck, that card is called the Dreamer. So future you has definitely made a dream of yours come true. The fact that this card says children, this could perhaps be a childhood dream of yours, or just a dream that you've had for many years. A dream that was born when you were a bit more, I want to say naive, and I don't even mean that in a bad way, just more optimistic. A past version of you who believed that more was possible and still believed in magic. I think future you is kind of reclaiming that. I'm definitely interpreting children as future you having a wonderful relationship with your inner child, and it's like you're honoring, I just saw 444. Okay, lots of angel numbers going on. Honoring your inner child in everything you do. Like, this is for you. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I just want my inner child. I just want younger me to think that I'm cool. Probably future you is doing what they do for current you. Future you doesn't care about impressing anyone except you. The current version of you who is watching this right now, they want to make you proud. You want to make your past self proud. So I feel like your relationship with yourself, and especially younger versions of yourself, past versions of yourself, is very sweet. If there's any past versions of you that you cringe at the time of watching this, if there's any past versions of you that you don't really want to claim, that you have a hard time forgiving, I'm hearing, you just don't really want to identify with that past version of you, I think future you has a lot more compassion for the previous iterations of you. So you have a lot more compassion for yourself. I definitely think any needs that you may have once had for like social validation, those are falling away because you just get, I mean, it's always nice to get external validation, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you're just so fulfilled from the love and compassion that you give to yourself. And for those of you who are parents or you're wanting to become a parent, I do feel like the healing journey that you're going on will, how do you say that? Grow your capacity to give to your children and be like a present, loving, encouraging parent. You may feel like you're a better parent because of the healing that you've been through. If that's not in your journey, if children are not in your journey, you can just ignore that message. Because I definitely think for a lot of you, this is about like your relationship with younger you. And actually another interpretation, maybe just for a few of you, could be that you are working with children, or some work that you do is helping children, helping the future generations. We have inner peace, beautiful, with the number 2. Angelic guardians surround you. And that's funny because we've seen 3 angel numbers, like numbers repeating in threes, 111, 333, 444, since the beginning of this reading. So if you do frequently see repeating numbers, like if you frequently see angel numbers, I think quite literally angels are letting you know they're present and sending you their love. That's like a sign that they will show you. Angelic guardians surround you. You are being held in harmony and divine grace. You're so fulfilled. Future you is so fulfilled. And while I do think that future you could be quite busy, I do get the sense that you live a simple life because you know what truly matters to you. And so you don't commit to anything else other than what truly matters to you and whom truly matters to you. You're not spending your energy and spending your mental currency willy-nilly. You're very intentional. Your inner peace, it's something you've cultivated and it's something you protect on the daily, which is a practice that may be hard at first, but it will get easier. It will become like second nature. We can't always be at peace because life gets chaotic sometimes and different situations may hurt us or stress us out sometimes. So this is not me saying like you have to be peaceful all the time, but I do think that your emotional baseline is much more peaceful compared to a current version of you. And we have a different kind of love. Rose quartz. Leo energy could be significant with this lion. You could have Leo placements. If so, I feel like those placements will be really shining in the future. You could have a Leo in your life who is very important to you, or perhaps even like the next Leo season from whenever you're watching is going to be a very, I want to say, fortunate time. Interesting. So something lucky is happening in Leo season for you. A blessing is coming and there's a big element of luck in it. And also determination, but luck too. I'm drawn to how the roses are in the lion's mane. I definitely think a different kind of love here is referring to that self-love, because I feel like the roses represent love and it's like you're adorning yourself with it. You are treating yourself more. And there's something about beautifying. I'm just imagining like a lion. He's decorating his mane with the roses and he's looking in the mirror and he's like, I'm so beautiful. I don't know. It's a very cute image coming to my mind. So maybe future you, it's like you enjoy beautifying yourself or treating yourself, pampering your physical vessel as a way to show it appreciation for everything it does for you. You likely have an excellent relationship with your body, like a relationship of gratitude and also trusting your body, trusting what it's capable of, trusting the cues it gives you, like when it needs rest, when it needs more of something or less of something. I feel like you're becoming very good at listening to your body. This could also be about beautifying your physical space, which includes, I'm hearing, keeping it neat and tidy. Like you have nice, pretty things around you, but part of that prettiness is also that things are clean and in order. That message about you living a simple life could also, there could be some kind of physical decluttering that you're going through. Future you could be getting rid of a lot of stuff. Like, I don't need this stuff anymore. Maybe you're selling it or donating it or giving it to someone or throwing certain things away. But you could be getting rid of physical possessions that they're just weighing you down. Which now I'm getting this image for some of you that you're moving. You're upgrading your living situation. Some of you could be moving to your dream home. And you're like, you know what? This represents a new chapter in my life and I don't want to take all this crap from the old chapter with me. And so you're going through some purging of things. There's something about you getting rid of physical possessions that you once kept because they were tied to memories, but you don't need them anymore because the memories still live inside of you. Maybe that's just for some of you. Okay. Is there anything else? I think we will get into the tarot. So that was a lot. Probably by now you have figured out whether this is your group. Cancer energy and Virgo energy could be significant too. Okay, so let's see what your life is like on your desired timeline, and how does it feel to live that life. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Three of Swords. What I'm getting here is that you're not afraid of negative outcomes anymore, or like you're not afraid of disappointment anymore. With the Knight of Wands, the first thing that came to my mind is, again, the confirmation that you're a very creative soul, and you're creating a lot on this timeline. You're expressing yourself a lot. I think, okay, I'm hearing something that it gets a bit easier, but it's still a challenge sometimes, is that balance of creating what I want versus creating what others want, or, you know, finding ways to be selfish is the word coming to my mind. I don't mean that in a bad way. Finding ways to be selfish in your self-expression, authentic in your self-expression, but also putting forth something that is going to resonate with other people and that other people actually want. And finding like the middle part of the Venn diagram where it's like, I feel authentic doing this, and also there's a demand for it. That's kind of a perpetual challenge in your life. And it does get easier, but it's not like that challenge completely disappears, which leads me to believe that perhaps future you is doing something creative for a living, because I feel like the only reason you'd have to consider another party is like if you're getting paid for it, right? So maybe it's like you have to consider your client or your boss if you have one, or your fans if you have them, your customers. But I do think that future you is more bold in creating and expressing themselves. There could be some form of censorship that is disappearing from your life in the future, whether that was another party, another entity, I want to say, like censoring you and telling you you can't say this, you can't say that. Or maybe it was a sort of internal thing where you were censoring yourself and really, you know, I'm not going to speak up, or I'm not going to share my work unless I've thought it over 16 times. And there's maybe you do create and express yourself currently, but I feel like there's less rounds of watering it down and less overthinking when it comes to expressing yourself. It's like you said what you said. So you are becoming more bold and authentic in your expression, but there's always that challenge of like balancing the expectations of the self with the expectations of the other. But yeah, I do feel like, I mean, you are a brave individual, but I feel like future you is a bit more ballsy, if you will. They're not afraid, you're not afraid of approaching people, whether that's someone you want to be friends with, someone you're interested in romantically, someone you want to work or collaborate with, maybe just someone you want to compliment. You're not afraid of making that first move to approach them and just, you know, straight up saying what it is that you want to do, or saying how you really feel. You're not afraid to shoot your shot. You're just a bit more bold. And that kind of feels like Aries-ish energy. So some of you could have, well, you could just have fire in your chart, because I've mentioned Aries and Leo so far, which are both fire signs. And I feel like current you, or maybe a version of you in the recent past, would get really hung up on the what if, like what if something bad happens? Whereas future you is like, so what? Then I redirect. Then I move on to the next thing. Then I make adjustments. It's like, you're no longer afraid of a disappointing outcome. That's not going to stop you from trying. Because whatever result comes from your action, that's information that's going to help you next time. I'm thinking of a situation where someone's thinking of, you know, posting something. And they're like, well, what if nobody watches it? What if nobody likes it? Okay, future you's like, so then they don't, but I'm still gonna do it. Like, what if XYZ bad thing happens? It's not really a thought that crosses future you's mind that much. Of course, I probably don't have to make this disclaimer, of course, except for situations where like someone's gonna get hurt. But if it's just like, what if the thing I want to happen doesn't happen? And future you's like, that's okay, then we'll figure something else out. But let's just try this. I feel like future you is just a bit more brave like that, a bit more daring, willing to experiment. Probably also they don't really take things personally. So if future you tries something and it doesn't go well, it's like, okay, I learned something for next time, rather than spiraling into this, oh my gosh, this means that, I don't know, everyone hates me, or I'm no good at this and I'm doomed. Like, future you doesn't take a disappointing outcome to mean anything about you as a person or what you're capable of. It's like an experiment, like, oh well, that didn't work, okay, let's try this now. So there is a level of detachment and experimentation, which I think is going to get you very far. You know, I've probably say this a lot in readings, but the people we look up to, the people whose great successes we see, they probably have like 10, 20, 50, 100 failures behind that we don't see. We just see their success, but it's not like the first time they tried, well, unless they're very lucky, but most people try and fail and try and fail. Most people have a lot of dumb, bad ideas before they get their really good genius idea. And that's okay. We can be defined by our, 10% of things that are successful. That's what really matters. So you're probably letting go of this, everything I do has to be perfect. Future you, you're definitely doing something creative for a living, and I'm hearing it's a trade-off. I'm hearing there's pros and cons, and 99% of the time the pros do outweigh the cons. And I think the cons is mostly just like dealing with other people, if I'm being honest. Like, if I could just lock myself away and create by myself and not worry about money and not worry about what this person wants and that person wants, that would be awesome. But it's a job and I have to make money. I can feel future you saying something like that. It's like there's certain annoying things that you have to do, but it's like, if these annoying things allow me to live the life of my childhood dreams, then I will gladly accept these things. And the analogy that's coming to my mind right now is, traveling by air can be very annoying. Packing, waking up early, getting to the airport 3 hours before. You have to lug all your heavy stuff around and check your bags and go through security and take off your shoes and take out the water bottle and take out the laptop, and then you get to the gate and a bag of chips is like $15 and there's like screaming babies and dirty bathrooms, and then the flight's delayed. There's all kinds of annoying shit. But if you're going to see the person you love more than anything in the world when that plane lands, it's all worth it, right? Like, you'll gladly go through that annoying shit because what you get at the end of it is like the thing you love the most in the world. And until we invent teleportation, there's just gonna be some inconvenient processes. Okay, anyway. What else can we know? We have the Six of Wands. Are you famous? You could be. I did say you're a star, and now I'm hearing, hey now, hey now. This is what dreams are made of. Yeah. Okay, some of you are kind of, I'm actually kind of famous. Oh, you know the DJ? Oh, she knows the DJ. Okay, anyway, yeah, you could be famous, or, you know, you have something of a following, you have something of people who recognize your gifts and who support your work. It's definitely giving the vibe of you being well known and well established in your field. People sharing about you or sharing about your work through word of mouth, or maybe there's your work is getting featured or published somewhere. Word about you is spreading. There's raving reviews about you. Okay, this is very vague, but I just heard your name is mentioned in rooms. Like, okay, I'm imagining like boardrooms. People are discussing who should we go for this project? Who should we choose for this project? And they're like, well, what about group 1? Oh yeah, group 1 is excellent. Like there's conversations happening about you. And honestly, some of my group 1s who are watching right now, this is already happening. There's already people who are discussing you, what you have already accomplished, what you've already done, or they're discussing your potential in a very positive way. You're definitely successful, and you're gaining more visibility. And that could be one of the things, you know, future you says there's pros and cons. But if you manage your visibility well, the pros can really outweigh the cons. In addition to the balance between the self and the other, I think the balance between public life and private life is going to become increasingly important on this timeline, which is interesting because that's making me think of all the angular houses in your birth chart, you know, like self versus other is the first 7th house axis, and then public private is the 10th and 4th house axis. Those polarities, if that's what you call it, those dualities are big themes on this timeline. And it's always a balancing act. And you have to trust that you're getting the balance right for you. You could be, future you could be, maybe this is just for a few of you, but future you could have a very impressive investment portfolio or you're like working with a financial advisor or something. That's so funny. As I was saying that, the Page of Pentacles flipped over. So you're making smart decisions with your money and you're growing your money so that, you know, you 30 years from now can be taken care of. I don't know why I said 30, but it's just a random number. Ooh, we have Justice. Some of you could be gaining recognition with a partner. That's just for some of you, but you may be a duo of some kind. And your collaborators or business partners. If you already have a partner, like if you're already in a relationship, or if you already are in a business partnership with another person, I feel like the two of you could kind of be rising up together. Again, that interpretation is just for some of you. It could also be that there is a very important, like fated partnership that comes into your life as you gain more visibility. It's like you're gaining recognition, you're gaining more visibility, and then this person notices you. That's how they find you. That's how they meet you. You have a very good public image. Future you has a very positive reputation. Future you is very respected. Whoever this fated partner is, before they meet you, they're going to hear a lot of positive things about you. They're going to hear your name brought up a lot and probably already have a very positive image of you when they meet you. Yeah. And I'm hearing you're just effortlessly cool. Like, to everybody. You're just effortlessly cool. I don't really see you having, you know, when you gain more visibility, you can get haters and stuff. I don't really see that happening to you, because I feel like someone would have to really reach to hate you. Like, you know that, is it a meme? I don't know. When you're like, imagine hating me and I'm just in my room doing cartwheels or something. Imagine hating me and I'm just in my room doing this innocuous thing. I don't know. Let me sip my tea. That's how I feel about you. Like, you don't cause trouble. There's nothing to hate on. So if you were worried about, like, oh, if I gain more visibility, I'm gonna get negative attention, I don't really see that happening. I feel like everybody loves you. And there's like so much positive talk about you. I'm hearing like you're such a sweetheart. Like, this lion with the roses, it's so endearing. It's like you have a heart of gold. People can really see your good heart. On this justice scale, the heart is as light as a feather. It's like your pure heart, your good heart. And oh my gosh, like, I don't know who this partner is, if it's like a romantic thing or a friend or a business partner, but not only do they hear so many positive things about what you've accomplished and, you know, your talents and things like that, but they also hear stories of how sweet you are. And I feel like that's what really stands out to them. Is there anything else with justice? You could be, sorry, I had a little burp there. You could be signing a very significant contract on this timeline. I don't know if there's, you know, if you have your dream company or a dream agency that you want to work with, or you want to get signed in some way. But I could definitely see that happening with justice, like, you know, a significant partnership, a significant contract. And oh yeah, I was just gonna say about you being effortlessly cool. It's like you make things look easy. And I'm seeing this scenario where I think you have a lot of admirers and what you do is hard, but you make it look easy. And then people see you doing it and you're just like in your element and you're glowing and they're like, wow, that looks so fun, I want to try it. And then they try it and they're like, oh shit, this is actually really hard. And like, they wouldn't have guessed from watching you because you don't look like you're struggling, or you don't look like you're thinking really hard or panicking when you're doing your thing, when you're doing your work, whatever it is. So then people are like, holy shit, like you're doing like, that's how I feel about pole dancing, because I don't really pole dance anymore. I haven't done it in a long time. But when you're like doing those tricks and hanging upside down, like, oh my gosh, you're grimacing because it hurts. It hurts on your skin and there's like blood flowing to your head, and it's very hard to look beautiful doing that, in my opinion. And so now when I see dancers who just look so graceful and they're emoting with their face and they look so beautiful, I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, you don't look like you're suffering. But I know it's painful. Yeah, anyway, you're doing something like that where you just make it look easy, you look good doing it, And you inspire people to try it too. And then they're like, damn, they get a newfound, you know, they're impressed. Okay, what else do we need to know? We have Wheel of Fortune, which I really like because I used the word fortunate in your reading earlier. There's something about Leo season. Hopefully that's coming up soon when you're watching, but whenever you happen to be watching this, cannot be more than a year away. So Leo season is going to be a very lucky time for you. And I honestly think the next couple years of your life is going to be very lucky. I'm almost getting Eight of Wands energy, where it's like a lot of things coming in quickly, a lot of blessings coming in quickly. I'm thinking of the Wheel of Fortune, how when it's spinning, you know, on this side of the wheel is coming up and that side of the wheel is coming down. And there's something about switching. I don't know. You're not replacing someone. I mean, you could be. Maybe like someone, let's say there's a dream company you want to work for and someone's quitting or someone's retiring and then they hire you. Someone's on their way out and you're on your way in. Or someone's on their way down and you're on your way up. I do see future you, you're very good at being present because you know, this is a very lucky time, a very prosperous time, and these seasons never last forever. They can last for a very long time, but they never last forever because that's just life. And so I think, and I don't say this to be like a scary message, I just think there's a part of future you who's very aware that, this could be gone someday. So I'm going to enjoy every day, and I'm not going to worry and stress about the small stuff because it's such a joy and it's such a blessing that I get to do this. And sure, I can complain about little inconvenient, annoying things, but at the end of the day, I get to do this. Like, I get to wake up every day and do this, and that's worth the world's weight in gold. I don't know, it's worth the world. It's worth a lot. That's not even a real expression. I'm channeling my grandpa there. He used to he would always get expressions wrong. But English wasn't his first language, so I don't have that excuse. Okay. Ooh, we have the Ten of Pentacles. She's rich and famous. Okay. You know what I love about this Ten of Pentacles? You are not going to rise to your success or rise to your fame, whatever resonates with you, by hopping on trends. Like, the Ten of Pentacles says you are building something long-lasting. And that makes a lot of sense because I feel like at the core of everything you do is you're being authentic and you want to make younger you happy. You don't care about people thinking you're cool except younger you. And so you're not swayed by the trends of the moment. Everybody's doing this now, so I'm going to do that too. I'm seeing like, it's like a kite that is loose in the air and it's just like flying this way and that way. rather than, it's like, you know who you are. You have a sense of self, so you're a kite that's anchored to the ground. This is a weird analogy. But you know, if you didn't have that sense of self, you would just be like the kite flying willy-nilly all over the place, and oh, I'm gonna try this trend now, and I'm gonna try that trend now. Or you know, everybody's going to school for this, so I'm gonna go to school for this. Everybody's saying this job is good, so I'm gonna do this job. You don't get swayed like that because you know who you are. And so, you know, the trends are gonna come and go, fads are gonna come and go, whatever. But you are unwavering in your commitment to building something authentic and building something that lasts. And you're probably gonna see, you're rising like this, and you're gonna see a lot of people shoot to the top and fall in a short time. Meanwhile, you're just chugging along slowly, and slow and steady wins the race. 10 of Pentacles is like, it's a legacy that you're building. And again, this is making me think of you making smart financial decisions. I definitely think you're going to be, why do I want to say paid handsomely? I know that's an expression. I didn't make that one up. You're going to be paid handsomely for your work. But I also think that in the midst of that, and in the midst of treating yourself from time to time, I do think that you are living well within your means on this timeline, and that you are setting yourself up for financial security in the long-term future. And if you do have children, or if you're planning to have children, you know, you're setting them up too. You're not letting, it's like there's a lot of money flowing in, and you're not letting that get to your head, and you're still thinking about the long game, and you know, retirement and kids if you have them, or family to take care of if that's a factor for you, and being practical about it. Your success is going to last a long time. You know, you're not going to be doing this forever, but you are going to be doing it for a pretty darn long time. And even if there's a part of you now that feels kind of antsy and impatient, I think future you will be grateful for the slow growth that you experienced. And that, because it's like, I don't know, you're maybe seeing people around you who get, you know, huge amounts of success in a short time, and then it gets to their head, and maybe they, I don't know, maybe they make a bunch of money and then spend it all, or they have like a 15 minutes of fame kind of situation, but you're like, you have some kind of staying power to you. Your success is long lasting. And I also get the sense that you are generous with your wealth, so you're living a good life, and your loved ones around you are living a good life too. So oh, by the way, this is super specific, but someone could be a Libra with Mercury in Virgo. Yeah. Okay, anyway, let's look at these oracle cards to get some advice for you. How can you have faith in this timeline, or how can you best align with this timeline? We have, you can make it through. Your higher self is always guiding you. What wisdom does your higher self have for you? My eyes are going to this number 13. It's not 13, that's 15. Ooh, that's interesting though, because 13 is the death card. Some of you do have to, or you'll be called to take a leap of faith, which your leap of faith, it's less about what you're doing or what you're heading towards, and it's more about what you're letting go of. Letting an old version of you die when the new version doesn't seem fully formed yet. But at some point, it's like life will be asking you to do that. And if you are connected to your higher self, you could actually feel quite calm doing that. But anyway, this is actually the number 15, which makes me think of the devil. So you could currently have some programming or harsh self-judgments that make it difficult for you to truly hear your higher self or truly accept what they're saying. That's what I think it is for a lot of you. You hear what your higher self is saying, but you don't accept it. You may dismiss it. You may feel like you're being silly, or no, I could never do that. I could never live up to what my higher self is saying, because I'm looking at all of these people looking up and they're covering their eyes. And that's just making me think, the more you judge yourself, the less you can truly see your higher self. I'm also hearing that judging yourself is silly. There's a part of you that thinks judging yourself is like the right thing to do and the smart thing to do, but it's silly. Your higher self is saying it's a silly thing to do. It's a waste of time. And also, you know, there's different narrators in your mind. There's different voices in your mind. There's different parts of you, but none of them are the real you. I was just thinking about that last night. I couldn't sleep because I was having anxiety about a social interaction. And I realized that, like, I was actually just interacting with myself. Like, how do I say that? The version of the other person that I created in my mind, it was really just an aspect of me dressed up as them. Because I was like worried, oh, this person's gonna think I'm annoying, this person's gonna get mad at me. But that has nothing to do with them. It's actually a part of me who thinks I'm annoying. It's a part of me who is mad at me. And I'm just projecting it onto the other person. Does that make sense? There's so many different, like, personalities in me that interact with each other and have conflict with each other and judge each other. And none of them are actually the real me. This is the real me. I say me because I'm using myself as an example, but this is the real you. The different personalities and the different parts of your mind, none of them are really the real you. And we say this all the time, but I do think quieting your mind is so important. Even quieting the inner critic, even the part of you that judges yourself. Just, I'm hearing like, you can judge me later. Just be quiet for 5 minutes and just let me recenter and let me connect with my higher self right now. This could be done through meditation or just when you're lying in bed, shutting off your mind and connecting with your higher self, because your higher self has the blueprint. We have ground yourself. Okay, so I just said your higher self has the blueprint. You will download the blueprint from your higher self. And it's important that you act on it. And maybe it's important that you act on it swiftly. When your higher self gives you these downloads, it's like your higher self is giving you a seed to plant. And if you just receive the seed from your higher self and then sit there with the seed in your hand, nothing is going to happen. You have to put it into the soil. So you have to do something to set that download into motion on the physical plane. Otherwise, nothing will change. Some of you, I can use myself as an example again because I struggle with this. Like, I have a rich inner world and like a vivid imagination, and I can get stuck just daydreaming about my future and then not really take action towards it. So definitely, like, when you get that idea, when you get that download, just do something to ground it. You don't have to execute the whole thing immediately, but just something to set it into motion so that it doesn't fly away. Remember, we have to anchor that kite so it doesn't fly away. And we have Mother Earth. This is also grounding. This black color, this is also grounding. Your connection to your higher self is important, but your connection to the earth and the physical plane is also important. And I feel like there's a lot of progress you can make and a lot of good things you can do to align with this timeline that you don't even have to be, how do I say this? You don't even have to be thinking like a spiritual person. A lot of good life advice is not like esoteric and spiritual in nature, which obviously you know that, but I think a lot of the time you can do amazing things without having to frame it as like, I'm manifesting, I'm quantum leaping. Like sometimes it really is the simple things that we already know to do. You know, like drink water. Wake up in the morning and don't look at your phone, and get out of bed and go outside and get sunlight, and break your goals down into small things. Like, you know, there's a lot of grounded, not inherently spiritual, not inherently manifestation things that you can do. I think that will help you. And remember that you are a limitless manifesting being, but you're also like a person, and you can take, I don't want to say normal. Like I'm normal. I'm a tarot reader, but I'm normal. But you know what I mean by quote unquote normal people. That kind of advice will help you too. Because I think what I'm really getting at with this is like, sometimes our spiritual practice can become a way to like, we want to like escape the efforts that need to be done on the physical plane and feel like we can transcend it. If our vibration is high enough, then we'll just be able to manifest without doing that physical plane stuff. But the physical plane stuff is important too. I might have just said a whole lot of nothing right now, so I apologize. But yeah, maybe even like, some of you may even be kind of taking a break from actively having a spiritual practice and just kind of being like a human. Just kind of being like a meat suit for a while and just living on this rock for a while and not thinking about like the 5D and things like that. Because there's a lot of good work you can do there too. Yeah, anyway, I really hope that made sense. So this is what I'm seeing for my group ones. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. Oh, I forgot to mention, I was like, I'm gonna say this at the beginning of the groups, but I forgot. I finally made a new song after months and months. So, you know, I always have my latest release linked down below, and for the longest time it was the same song for months, but now there's a new one. There's a new latest release. It's a remix though. It's a deadmau5 remix. So yeah, she's going to be down below if you want to check her out. And I think that is everything. So thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, past, present, and future versions of you, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the rose quartz, this is going to be your reading. The first thing we need to do is figure out whether this is your group. So like I mentioned in the intro, my intention with this reading is to allow future you, who already exists on your desired timeline, to come forward and share these messages with us. So we are going to start by asking them to describe your energy. And if what I'm describing sounds like you, or it sounds like the version of you you are becoming, then that will be your sign that you found your group. So let's get into it. For my group twos, your first card is False Indigo. Right away, indigo is making me think of the third eye. Also, the letter I could be significant because we have indigo, immersion, intuition. When you reach the end of what you should know, you will be at the beginning of what you should sense. I feel like future you is letting us know that on this timeline, you're a lot more comfortable and a lot more at peace with not knowing things. There's a feeling of like, there's a lot I don't know and that's okay. Versus maybe a previous version who felt scared or out of control when there were unknowns or uncertainties. I also think that future you is saying what lies between current you and future you is not a matter of needing more information, needing more answers, needing more clarity, needing more confirmation. There could be some of you who are kind of standing still or not moving forward as much as you could because you're waiting for more like answers or information. You're waiting to be more sure. You're waiting to know more. And future you is saying that's not what's going to bridge the gap between you and me. It's trusting your gut at this point. It's trusting your intuition. It's trusting what you can sense. Future you is very connected to your inner compass and trusts it very deeply. So if you struggle, like if current you struggles with trusting your intuition or like, I don't know if I should act on this, maybe it's just in my head, or just struggling to make decisions, I feel like that comes a lot easier and a lot more naturally to future you. We have healing with Archangel Raphael. That could be an angel who is close to you right now. This is making me think that perhaps wounds of your past sort of, broke is the word coming to my mind, but I don't mean that something is broken beyond repair, but like broken trust with your inner compass or broken your relationship with your inner compass. Like getting back to a place where you can trust yourself, that may be a matter of deep healing. So you may have a past of being invalidated, of being told that what you feel in your heart is wrong, that you should not follow your heart, that your experience of reality is wrong even. And I think future you has come back to this place of no, like what I feel and experience is valid. What I desire is valid. What my heart is telling me is valid. This is like a healed version of you. And it feels quite emotional. We have patience with the number 32. Not all will awaken at the same rate. Be patient and hold space for those who need your guidance. This is likely an archetype that you already have. And maybe future you is just embodying it more fully. But I do feel that you are a healer or an awakener of some kind with this indigo energy. Oh, actually, like indigo children, indigo child could be significant to you, but I was going to say it's likely that you have very strong psychic gifts and future you has learned to trust those even more fully as well. You could very well on this timeline be using your gifts to heal others or to help others awaken. And I think future you also understands that while you may feel a calling to share your gifts, you also know that each individual awakening is not your responsibility. Like, you can help people along, you can show people a perspective, you can share your knowledge and gifts with people, but what they do with it is up to them. And everybody's going to progress at their own rate. Everybody's going to awaken in their own time. It's like you have a lot of compassion for the collective and a desire to heal and serve the collective, but you also have those boundaries where you're not taking on others' healing journey as your own and saying like, I am responsible for this person's healing. That could be something that is happening in your interpersonal relationships as well. Like, I can show this person a perspective, I can try to show up for them and help them, but it's not my job to like fix them or change them or stick around if I'm not feeling respected. So your boundaries are a lot stronger too, with your one-on-one relationships, but also with the collective. Wow, this makes a lot of sense. Now we have step up to sovereignty with lapis lazuli. This is very much giving high priestess vibes. And we have this, I think this color is indigo. Anyway, blue indigo colors could be significant to this group. And yes, this is totally giving the feeling of energetic sovereignty, being connected to your intuition, your inner compass, having a wonderful relationship with your own spiritual and psychic gifts, and using them on your own terms and using them in a way that makes you feel empowered. Some of you who chose this group could already be like spiritual workers, if that's how you say it. Like, you use your spiritual gifts for a living, and I feel like future you feels very empowered in that. And if there's any issues that you're dealing with like your boundaries when it comes to, you know, taking on people's energy or assisting in someone's healing or just like helping others and being there for others, I think establishing and managing those boundaries comes a lot more naturally to future you. And so you can do your work in a way where you still feel like nourished and sustained. I'm hearing gone are the days where you will completely deplete your energy to help someone else. Or I'm even thinking about that expression, like setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Gone are those days, because you no longer feel like there's like, I'm picking up on this part of you that almost feels like it's your obligation to do that. So yeah, I think future you is very capable of making those calls like, okay, maybe I'm not the best person to help you, so I'm going to step back. Or no, I don't feel comfortable giving that much of my energy and time. Or I've been giving too much, I'm going to pull back. I'm going to say no to this person or this situation. Or it's not my job to give of myself here or to sacrifice this part of me here. And you can do that and sort of withdraw your energy without feeling selfish, because you no longer feel like if I have something, I'm obligated to give it away. You no longer feel obligated to sacrifice your own peace. You're taking care of yourself very, very well on this timeline. All right, so a lot of inner work has been done. A lot of healing has been done. You're very strong. If this sounds like you, let's get into the tarot. Also, Australia could be significant because I just noticed that the scientific name of this plant is Baptista australis. Wanted to point that out. So now that we've established your energy, let's see what is going on in your life. We have the Two of Pentacles. Right away, this is making me think of like working two jobs, balancing two jobs. And The energy that I'm picking up from this is not that it's from a place of necessity. It's not like, oh, I have to work 2 jobs to make ends meet. It's more like there are 2 ventures that I'm very passionate about, and I don't have to choose one or the other. I get to do both. Your life feels very balanced. Your work-life balance is on point, which just means that you're working enough to support yourself and you are living enough life outside of work to feel recharged. Also, the boundaries between your professional and personal life are very healthy. In the future, I don't see you worrying about work when you are supposed to be resting or supposed to be spending time with loved ones. You're like, okay, that's a problem for me when I'm clocked in again. Like I'm doing this right now. I'm enjoying my hobbies right now. I'm talking to my friend right now. I'm meditating right now. I'm taking a bath right now. Like that's for me to worry about tomorrow. It seems like you're good at flicking that switch in your mind, which, by the way, if you remember this in the future, please tell me how you do it. Like, oh, okay, like this is not something to be worrying about right now. I'm just going to be present in the moment, and I can worry about it like when it's actually time to. You have a lot of time for play that's coming through as well. At the time that you're watching this, if there's a hobby that you're kind of thinking about starting or a current hobby that you want to spend more time on, I think future you is definitely doing that. Some of you could even have 2 home bases. Maybe that's even in different cities or in different countries. Some of you could have remote work that allows you to spend time in different cities or travel when you feel like traveling. I'm also seeing a scenario for some of you where you have one-on-one clients. I don't know, you're doing some kind of session with them. I'm seeing a Zoom call in my mind's eye, which that could be literally what some of you are doing. But I'm just seeing like these one-on-one sessions where you're talking to clients and there's a bit of back and forth while you kind of figure out the time difference. So you're working with people who are far away then, if they're several time zones away from you. Yeah, this is giving the vibe of like remote work, or your customers and clients are kind of all over the world. I'm also seeing a little dog in my mind's eye. It looks kind of like scruffy and kind of small. Okay, we have the 6 of Cups. Beautiful. This feels like, I'm thinking of nostalgia. You know, 6 of Cups can talk about many different things, but that nostalgia message is coming through quite a bit. You are curating your life, so to speak, in a way where you can get back some kind of nostalgia. It's like going back to a simpler time, going back to a time where things are easier or you felt more comfortable. I think a lot of us in the collective are feeling just kind of sick of the way progress is happening and feeling kind of pessimistic about the future and maybe longing for, like, I wish things were the way they were, 10, 20 years ago, whatever it might be. And in some way you're sort of structuring your life that you're able to live the way things were in that past era. I hope that that's making sense. Maybe you're having a more analog life, or you live in a city that hasn't been so modernized where all the buildings look the same and there's like unique businesses there and unique sceneries there, or you're like listening to a lot of music from older times and getting inspired by that. There's something about a culture that you're existing in where it's not always like the newest thing is the best. The newest thing is the thing that's getting pushed. People are learning to enjoy art, culture, ideas of the past, revisit things, because there's still value in those older things. And we don't always need to be pushing out more and more and more new stuff and more advanced stuff. The message is a bit hard to ground, but there's something about you like maybe going back to an old way of doing things, or living a life that you're like nostalgic about right now. If there's something you want back in your life that you once had, maybe this is about you getting it back. But I also see you living in a community and living in a collective where it doesn't feel like you're just blindly hurtling into the future at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's like we're really stopping to appreciate what we already have and gaining inspiration from what already exists, and recognizing that there's a lot of beauty and wisdom and insights in older things, in things of the past. Like, it's about the environment that you're living in. Maybe you're like living in a city and this is just kind of how people think there, or the collective is shifting to feel this way. I also feel like a period of 6 years could be significant. Like maybe 6 years from now is going to be a sort of peak in your life, or a very, very blessed time in your life. That's not me saying you won't have any blessings for another 6 years, but just that 6 years from now could be a really, really happy time in your life. I also see you living in a community where, people are friendly, people know each other, people say hi to each other, people help each other out. There's a lot of face-to-face, in-person interactions. People might prefer to do things a certain way, even if it's not as efficient, because you get that human connection from it. You get that in-person time from it, and that's more valuable than doing something in the most fast and efficient and modern way. If you're looking at the future of the collective right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want things to change this way. I don't want society to change this way. I don't want humanity to change this way. Maybe as a collective we're stopping those changes from happening, but things can stay the way you want them to in the collective, or can even go back to a time in the past where it was better. We have the Hermit. I definitely feel like that's you, because we've been talking so much about you having a really good relationship with your inner compass. I'm also noticing both of these, like the angel and the sloth, they both have stars kind of on their tummies, which is interesting. Let me know if that is significant to you, but I thought that was a cool synchronicity. Yeah, definitely in touch with your inner compass, very in touch with your body. I feel like your nervous system is chilling on this future timeline. So any of you who deal with anxiety, who deal with constantly feeling overwhelmed, who deal with like scattered thoughts, brain fog, like inability to focus or stay grounded, I just feel your energy on this timeline is so calm and so peaceful. And that's not because all of your problems immediately solved, but you trust and you know that everything is going to work out in time. And also there's that part of you that is like, I don't need to know all of the answers and I can still feel safe. I also think because the Hermit is a sloth in this deck, that you are living a slower life. You are definitely not in the rat race on this timeline. You are definitely not on the hamster wheel. Nobody can pressure you to do more, work harder, work faster, just because. It has to feel aligned for you. You don't get swept up. Yeah, you don't get swept up in the rat race, and you don't have to. You don't have to participate in it. You've created a life where you can be free from that and you can live more slowly. You could have a lot of time in solitude on this timeline. You could have a more like intimate social circle. I see you in a community of people who are genuinely caring. People who do good deeds in silence, or people who do good deeds behind the scenes. It's not about like a performance. I see a lot of down-to-earth people around you. And I don't know what the opposite of superficial is, but I guess people who can look beneath the surface, people who don't care about appearances and surface level things. They're looking at your heart and your character. And it's interesting that I feel like a lot of the messages are about the people around you, the community you're in. Maybe some of you are really longing for that community, or you're feeling unseen in your current community, or you're just like, maybe you're sick of the people in your city and how everybody thinks and what everybody values. And, you know, the people you're surrounded by, that's a sign of who you are. So the fact that you're so like, you're surrounded by people who are so like caring and down to earth, I feel like that's you. And if you're in an environment where people are more like, you know, superficial and more worried about flexing than helping others, like, you're gonna feel unrest in your heart. And it's really being highlighted here that like where you're living and who is living with you or around you, they make you feel so at peace. You share the same values. We have the Knight of Wands, and we have the Eight of Cups. The Knight of Wands came out in Group 1's reading as well, and there was a message of creativity that I'm definitely picking up for you as well. I'm actually specifically seeing someone painting, so let me know, the Group 2s who are watching this, if you're painters or you've wanted to try painting. But I just see a visual of someone painting on like a huge canvas, and they're channeling, like, maybe it's kind of abstract art, like they're making a visual representation of an energy, like a visual representation of love or a visual representation of unity. They're sort of taking a frequency and visualizing it with their art. So it's like spiritual art, channeled art. And there is some kind of visual or colorful component to it. Let me know if this is resonating with you, because this is really specific. Maybe it's just a few of you who are doing this. Maybe some of you are like making an oracle deck, or making a tarot deck, or making healing art. Maybe you make, you're like commissioned to make unique art pieces for people. You could draw or paint people's energy, or like higher beings, or it feels kind of abstract or spiritual. That is not how I would interpret the Knight of Wands usually, but that's what's coming through. You know, sometimes with the Ace of Wands, I feel a message of like channeling your higher self. So with this being the Knight, it's like you took that wand, like that's in the Ace of Wands, you took it from the heavens, and now you're moving with it. I'm getting the feeling you are taking these downloads that you've been receiving for ages, and now you are setting them into motion on earth. Like you're doing something with them. You're making them physical. You're making them tangible. You're making them visual. So I do feel like it's art for a lot of you. But it's just a creation. It's something you're creating, where you've been receiving these downloads of what to create for a long time. And now future you on this timeline is like finally doing it. Not letting the downloads just stay on the mental plane, but taking the necessary action to turn them into a physical creation. And the work that you're doing, it's going to be extremely healing for you and healing for others as well. Okay. When you're in that kind of rat race mentality, it's like you would receive the download of what to create, but then maybe shut it down, because when you think about how much time it's going to take, it's overwhelming, and it's like, I don't have time for that. And now you don't care. You don't care about the rat race. So you're like, okay, for example, I'm getting a download to make this painting, and maybe it's going to take me months, but I don't care. Like, I'm enjoying the process. Maybe I'm just going to work a little bit at it every day. There's something about you letting go of a pressure to be productive in a short amount of time. You're okay with working and creating slowly. You're okay with letting your ideas and your downloads take their time to come to fruition, because it's not a race, and it's not, you're not proving yourself to anyone. You don't have to flex about how fast you can churn out work. It can be a gentle process. It can be a peaceful process. It can be very healing. Some of you could be making a big work, you know, like a series of novels, or an album, or a screenplay, you know, something that takes a lot of time and preparation and would probably feel like a waste of time if you weren't passionate about it. Or if you were approaching it from a more like, how much profit can I extract from this? If you were approaching it like that, of course that brain is going to say it's a waste of time. But when you make the motivation enjoyment and passion and inspiring others and healing others, then it's so worth the time. You could be making long form content. That's also coming to my mind. The projects or the work that you're producing is bigger and more long term. And that is becoming really enjoyable. That process of like seeing how something evolves over time. And this is making me really emotional, because I have this image in my mind's eye of you standing in front of a big painting that you did. And again, the painting is just an example. It could be anything that you've created. But in this vision, you're looking at this painting, and it's like every little section of it, you remember where you were at in your life when you painted it. And so as you look at this complete work of art, it's like you're in union with all of those past versions of you. You're witnessing all of those past versions of you, and it's bringing back memories that others might not see. Like, they might just look at it and see like, oh, beautiful work. But you're like, I see that version of me 6 months ago who was hurting, or I see that version of me 3 months ago who was so excited about this thing going on in my life. And it's like, it almost becomes this beautiful way to check in on yourself or look back on yourself. And there was this 6 of Cups energy too, of you feeling nostalgic and feeling a connection to the past and really looking at the past with fondness. And some of you could also be strengthening your connection to your roots, your heritage, your ancestors. Yeah, I think you're not meant to have a quote unquote normal job. If I'm reading your energy accurately, like, I can't see you in a kind of more normal corporate job. You need something that resonates emotionally. And you have it on this timeline. Let's just pull one more. We have the Knight of Cups. That's so sweet. This cup of coffee is standing out to me, and it's kind of making me think of reading coffee grounds, which that's also very specific. Something about cafes or a coffee shop could be significant for some of you. Maybe like your art gets hung up in different, like cafes, restaurants, different establishments in your town, or maybe even around the world. You're making something that gets featured in physical spaces, and people can connect with you and connect with your work on a physical level. Oh, you know what? For some of you, maybe this 2 of Pentacles was the balance between, in-person work and virtual work, connecting with clients virtually versus connecting with them in person, and you're finding that balance that feels good to you. But I'm getting this message, people are enjoying physical copies of your work or physical things that you've produced, and that's very fulfilling. Your work is definitely a vehicle for your own healing and the healing of others. But just remember, group 2, I feel like saying this as the last message before we go into the advice cards. You don't have to do everything to help others. You just have to do something. I don't know. I'm looking at these cards together and seeing the cup falling and the Knight of Cups being like, and is kind of turned away, almost like that's not my business. And I do wonder if current you or a recent past version of you would often feel obligated to rush in and help a situation that is not your problem. And let me be clear, like, helping other people when you don't have to, that's beautiful. Like, we should all strive to do that. I think what I'm picking up here that feels off is the sense of obligation. It's like, if I can help someone, that is beautiful. And I'm always going to strive to use my gifts to help others. And at the same time, I do not feel personally responsible to fix everybody's situation, even the ones that has nothing to do with me. I often feel the energy of like a very empathetic person with the Knight of Cups, and that can definitely be difficult to navigate, but you're doing it so well on this timeline. So finally, we're going to look at these oracle cards for advice on how you can have faith in this timeline or how you can best align with it. Your purpose is personal expansion. Number 18. How can you be more intentional with your choices and live with more purpose? I think this is a pretty simple piece of advice, which is just being very mindful of where your energy is getting poured into day by day. I'm seeing this visual of like you're putting pennies in a jar, and putting one penny into a jar may not seem like that much, but it compounds over time. There's little ways that your energy is kind of slipping away from you, and that's okay. It happens to all of us, but that builds up over time. And in the same way, little ways that you redirect your energy to what really matters, even if it's just for a few minutes, even if it's just one action, those really add up over time as well. I think you getting onto this timeline is not a matter of some huge breakthrough or huge shift. It's just the little things that you do every day finally compounding. The little shifts that you make every day compounding. And yeah, there's a message about be very aware of what you're pouring your energy into. Just be aware of it. This is the number 18, so it's making me think of the moon card. That gives a feeling of things hiding beneath the surface, things that you're doing unconsciously. I know for me personally, I will be worrying about stuff and I don't even realize that I'm doing it. So I'll just be going about my day and I feel tense and my heart's beating fast. And I'm like, why do I feel so anxious right now? And it's because I have some tab open in the back of my mind about something that happened a few hours ago, and I didn't even realize I was still thinking about it. And yet it's just sitting there taking my energy away and making me feel like shit. So trying to bring that to your awareness, like, what am I thinking about right now? Where is my awareness right now? Oh, it's on something that doesn't help me. It's on something that's making me feel bad. Okay, let's change that. You're not going to do this perfectly because none of us do. Like, the goal is not to just be thinking about high vibe stuff all the time and investing your energy into high vibe stuff all the time. It's just about being aware and making little shifts where you can. So, and whatever you're spending your energy on, just knowing that you're making a conscious choice to do that. So for example, like, I don't know, when I play my mobile game, I know that it's kind of wasting time. And so I just have to say to myself, like, I am consciously making the decision to do this right now. I'm not going to get carried away in it and let hours slip away from me, where it's like it just becomes an unconscious thing that I'm doing. I'm going to do this consciously. So don't worry about every moment, am I making the best choice with how to spend my energy? Because again, it's not about doing it perfectly. It's more so just about the awareness. We have sync with the moon. This is cool because you've had a lot of like intuitive energy. We literally had moon card energy here and high priestessy energy with this lapis lazuli card. Honoring your natural fluctuations. This is also giving me a very don't get caught up in the rat race kind of vibe. We know that future you is free from that, but the current you can do this in some ways as well. Maybe due to 3D limitations, you can't completely unsubscribe from it yet, and that's okay. But maybe mentally, emotionally, you can start to do that. You can start to release any pressure that you feel to participate in the race, or feel like you're not good enough or you're failing if you don't do that. Taking it off the pedestal, taking achieving more really fast off the pedestal. Even if, again, like even if sometimes you have to participate in that in society, you can mentally and emotionally distance yourself from it and say like, none of this determines my worth. I can take all the time I want. I think there's also a message here about just honoring the natural fluctuations of your body. Sometimes you may feel more energetic. Sometimes you may feel more tired. Some days I really feel like I am treading through mud to get myself to do anything. And I don't need to judge myself for that. Like, that's just being a human sometimes. That's just life sometimes. And I'm not going to be on all the time. So I think this card is just reminding you of that. Your productivity, your energy levels, your mood, it's going to go up and down. And that's very normal. If you have like a monthly cycle, maybe tuning in with that and honoring that is part of this advice. Oh, and this is number 51 in case that's significant. And then finally we have meditation. I just saw 41, by the way. So repeating, I mean, literally that number could be significant to some of you. Maybe the age of 41, if that's coming up soon for you, or the age of 32, if that's coming up soon for you. I guess also 51 and 18 could be ages. But, ooh, you know what I like about this card is that there's a flame around this person. And so through the meditation, we are purging and purifying. Maybe there's a meditation that you can do to release, especially if you do it on the full moon. Because we're syncing with the moon. Yeah, like, I don't know, like new moon meditation, full moon meditation, for planting new seeds on the new moon and releasing on the full moon. But for some reason, the releasing aspect of it is being emphasized more. Whenever you're watching this, the next full moon could be a wonderful time to release a lot of energetic crap and just a lot of stuff that isn't yours, a lot of stuff that is weighing you down, a lot of stuff that is stressing you out. You could literally imagine a fire around you that is like burning everything away and cleansing you from the inside out. Okay, so there is something to let go of inside of you. Probably has to do with feelings of pressure, obligations. I'm not doing enough. I'm not being good enough. I'm not helping enough. Your desire to strive to help people is beautiful. Like, that's something we should all have. I want to get rid of that like pressure and that beating yourself up because you feel like you're not doing enough. I want to get rid of that. We want to get rid of that. And that could definitely be something that subconsciously weighs on you. That constant nagging in the back of your mind of like, I'm not doing enough. This isn't good enough. Let's purge that. And of course, anything else. Anything else that's coming up right now that you feel like you might want to purge. But yeah, let's declutter that mind. I think that's the next step for you. Okay, group 2, that's everything I'm seeing, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram, my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release, which is finally something new. It's been like the same song forever, which was a banger, but we have a new one now. So that will be linked down below if you want to check it out. And thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, all versions of you in the past, present, and future, and your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the Kyanite, this is going to be your reading. So the first thing we need to do is figure out whether this is your group. Like I mentioned in the intro, my intention with this reading is to allow future you who is already living on your desired timeline to come forward and share these messages with us. So we're going to ask them to describe your energy. And if what I'm describing here does sound like you or the version of you that you are becoming, then that will be your sign that this is your group. So without further ado, let's get into it. Our first card is Camellia, Destiny. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. William Shakespeare. Okay, future you is really feeling like you are living in your purpose, and that you have fulfilled your destiny. I think future you has realized that your destiny was always just to pursue your desires and to live the life that you want. It's something that you decide, and it's something that you can change. It's not something that was predetermined by a force outside of you. So I think future you spends less time worrying about, I want to do this, but is it right? Is it wrong? Is it what I'm supposed to do? Is it not what I'm supposed to do? Is this like what the universe or my guides or whatever want me to do? And it's like you've brought that back to your own self. Like, if this is what lights me up, if this is what excites me, if this is what my heart is calling me towards in this very moment, then it is what I'm meant to do. Like, my job here is to just listen to the voice in my heart and follow that. And if I do that, then yes, my destiny is unfolding. My destiny is not a secret that someone has hidden from me, and it's my job to find it and follow their rules. It comes from inside of me, and I just saw 222. Like, I generate my own destiny. I'm in charge of my own destiny. That's awesome. Okay, we have Alchemy with Archangel Uriel. As I hold up this card, I'm hearing it's okay to change your mind. Maybe some of you need to hear that message. And I'm also hearing that nothing is a waste. I just think future you spends a lot less time worrying about, like, what if I'm on the wrong path? What if I'm doing the wrong thing? What if I'm not supposed to be doing this? What if I'm out of alignment? It's like, no, I am in alignment. I'm always in alignment. I'm always on the right path. Future you is very confident in this. No experience could be a waste because, first of all, the whole meaning of life is to have experiences and help each other. But yeah, have experiences. And every experience you have is going to teach you something more about yourself and life and the universe. The universe is in everything. Your mirror is in everything. Whether it's big or small, whether it seems super important to your ego or seems insignificant to your ego, everything that you experience is like this beautiful moment of the universe looking at itself in the mirror. And you'll gain knowledge from everything you do. So how could you be wasting time? You're here doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. That feeling of like, there's some other thing that I should rather be doing right now, and I have to find out what that is. I feel like that's going away, and you're present. You trust that wherever you are, you're supposed to be there, and you're enjoying the moment fully. And then ironically, like, that is what you're meant to do. I hope that makes sense. We also have Sacred Prayer with the number 23. All you must do is ask. Call upon the Ascended Masters for guidance. Future you have turned a lot of your desires into reality, especially the big ones. And you're no longer carrying any sort of shame or judgment surrounding what you want. And I apologize if I'm sounding like a broken record. I'm just kind of sitting with this energy that keeps coming up of like, what if I'm not supposed to want this? Or like, I want this, but what if that's not my destiny? What if that's not my path? And you're shifting from that to like, if I want it, if I desire it, if it's in my heart, then that's valid. Just giving yourself full permission to desire what you desire and to be lit up by what you're lit up by, rather than feeling the need to interrogate whether this is valid. And all you need to do is ask for it. I think we're kind of letting go of narratives that the universe or some being outside of you would have an agenda for your life. And like, oh, well, the universe is not going to give you that. The universe is going to block you from doing this or that because that's what you're not supposed to be doing. It's almost like making the universe into some authority figure who has control over your life. And that's not the case. Like, you are in charge of your life, and you're really embodying that truth on this future timeline. You're claiming that truth, you're living that way, and you're manifesting exactly what it is you desire without any shame, without any doubt. Like, if it's in my heart, it's supposed to be there, period. I think you're a lot more comfortable just asking the universe for stuff and assuming that the universe will give it to you. Assuming that the universe will let you experience what you want. Of course it will. You're seeing the universe as loving, generous, I want to say cheerful, like this cheerful presence that wants you to experience your heart's desires. And you on this future timeline has seen the answer to your prayers, has seen your desires come to fruition. Doves could be a significant animal for this group. Also white flowers, or just the color white in general. We have, what are you becoming? Amber. Orange as well. We do have some recurring orange color scheme here. White and orange together is making me think of a creamsicle, which is delicious. But anyway, what are you becoming? Amber. I'm looking at these pieces of amber, which is resin, I think, and the things are like solidified in it. It's making me think of certain parts of your identity that have maybe crystallized. Oh, wow. That's probably why I heard you can always change your mind. Like, you can always change your mind. You can always change who you are. Future you may not hold on so tightly to certain boxes or labels that the current you does or feels like you need to. Future you is definitely more of a free spirit. Future you definitely does not care what others think of them, including your own ego, kind of. Like, you know, all of us have some narrative in our head that spits out self-judgments. And I feel like you just don't take those as seriously anymore. The real you could never be a fixed qualities and could never be put into a box. So I think you're embracing your true identity as just a limitless being and not holding on so tightly to certain attributes or qualities or traits that you once like identified with so strongly. You're kind of, I was going to say unlimited, but limitless is the correct word. If this sounds like you or sounds like the version of you you're becoming, then stick around. We're going to pull some tarot now. And let's see what's going on in your life and how it feels to live this life. We have the Nine of Swords. This is giving me the feeling of someone who is sensitive. Just the way it's a rose in the middle and the swords are pointed towards it. I feel like a lot of my group 3s, you could be sensitive to criticism or sensitive to judgment, sensitive to rejection. It makes sense. It's not fun to be on the receiving end of those things. But at this present moment, your fear of criticism or like fear of rejection, fear of people seeing you in a negative way could kind of be standing between you and the version of you want to become, or the life you want to live. So something that you're doing in this future timeline, it does open you up to people perceiving you and forming opinions about you kind of being talked about in some way. That could even just be, it doesn't have to be literally you as a person, but just the work you do, what you're making, what you're contributing. And actually, part of what you do for a living could be offering ideas, offering perspectives. This is Gemini energy. So you're offering a narrative to the collective. You're offering knowledge to the collective. I'm thinking speakers, writers, teachers, storytellers, journalists, anything where you are sharing a narrative with the collective and seeking to enrich people's minds, or seeking to start conversations or facilitate conversations. There could be like discourse around what you do. Like, I'm imagining if someone published a book and then there's so many like online threads and podcast episodes of people just discussing like, what does this book mean? And sort of analyzing it. People analyze what you're creating, and you do start conversations. So that opens you up to be seen and heard, and it also could open you up to being critiqued. There could be some element of debate or asserting an opinion that's involved in the work you do as well. You do have very valuable ideas and a very valuable perspective to share with the collective, and I do feel like you'll be called to do that if you're not already. But you might be sitting on a lot of ideas right now because of the fear of like, what criticisms might I receive if I put them out? Like, what if someone disagrees? What if someone says this? What if the narrative I've formed isn't good enough? And I think that future you has really overcome a lot of that overthinking, and you're expressing yourself a lot. And you really are, I know I already said you're starting conversations, but I really do think you are shaping people's perspective in a positive way. You're making people think. You're showing people a depth to something that they didn't know was there. Some of you, this isn't going to be everyone, but some of you could kind of teach people or guide people in their own self-expression. So I said an example previously about publishing a book, and then maybe you also have like a creative writing class, or you coach people on how to overcome their fear of being seen and start expressing themselves too. Whatever fears you're overcoming to pursue your dreams, I do think in some way you then go on to help others overcome those same fears. And you're kind of an example that they can do it too. But yeah, I do think you could be a highly sensitive person. I feel like this rose represents you. Like, it's beautiful, it's very beautiful and very sweet. It's very delicate too. And the world could feel quite harsh for you. Some of you could have Pisces placements. I'm picking that up. And we spoke about Gemini as well. We have, the Queen of Swords. This is giving like thought leader. I feel like people really really value your opinion. I think you're highly intelligent. I think you're very good at articulating your views. I also just heard like you're getting paid to yap. And maybe that's what it feels like for you sometimes, because for you it comes so naturally, but then other people are like noticing how valuable it is. You might kind of underestimate the value of what you have to say. Cause I'm picking up on that gap. Like to you, you feel like, oh, I'm just showing up and saying stuff. And it's like, no, you're actually saying something really valuable that is helping people, that is changing minds, that is shifting perspectives, that is inspiring people to express themselves. And there's a lot of, like, there's discourse around what you're saying, what you're doing, and you're contributing to the discourse. I could see you, again, like teaching classes, giving talks, maybe you're being interviewed, maybe you're giving people advice, but you're in this role of speaking and communicating, sharing information, and people really, really look up to what you have to say. I feel like that's what you're getting paid to do. Your brain, like, there's some stuff in your brain that is highly sought after. Just your unique take on things. Some of you could also be leaders of a team. Like a project manager of some kind, or executive producer, executive director. Because again, people really, like, when you call the shots, people trust you and people value your call on things. I'm also seeing people searching you, like people searching your name in a search bar, like searching your work. Like, oh, I just have to hear what group 3 has to say about this. It's kind of like that vibe. There's a feeling of you being highly sought after. So not everybody who wants to work with you can. Not everybody who wants your attention can get it, because there's just simply not enough time in the day. There's also something about, in this future timeline, a prediction of yours came true. You made a prediction by analyzing the present situation, and it's like you projected how things were going to turn out in a few months or in a few years, and it turned out exactly as you said. Just an example. Imagine you're like, oh, I think this kind of fashion is going to come back in 10 years. And then 10 years pass, and lo and behold, that exact fashion came back. Or I think this world event is going to happen in 2 years, and then it does. The timing is less important, obviously, but you were right. You were right about something. As you often are, I'm hearing. Okay. Some of you could be protecting nature with the work you do. Protecting like wildlife, biodiversity, animals, the oceans, the forests, something like that. Or maybe some of you are contributing financially to those causes on this timeline. We have the Ace of Wands. I was just talking about this card in another group, and we were talking about channeling your higher self. You're definitely doing a lot of writing on this future timeline. You could very well be working on a book of some kind, a book or a textbook or a course or a big essay or a big article. I just heard expose, which I don't even really know what that means. I guess you're exposing something. And you have a unique gift of seeing patterns and making predictions, and it's in part based on analyzing what you're actually seeing on the ground. But then it's also in part just like your gut feeling. Some nudge from your intuition or from your higher self. I really think what makes future you unstoppable is your commitment to listen to your gut and just like give yourself permission to follow it fully without looking around for permission from someone else. I don't know if this is just an example to illustrate the energy or this is literally what's happening for some of you, but I just saw a situation where you told maybe a mentor or someone above you, you're like, I want to write a paper on this. And they're like, no, that's a bad idea. Or you're like, I want to prove this hypothesis. And they're like, no, that's not going to work. And then you just do it anyway. Like, you go ahead with a project even though some senior person advised you not to or told you not to, and then you ended up being right, or you ended up being very successful. Maybe this is even a parent being like, no, why would you do that? That's a bad idea. Don't spend your time on that. But you just feel in your gut like this is what I'm supposed to do, or you feel really passionate about it. So you're like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. That's the wonderful thing about you. I feel like you are very intelligent and very logical. And because of your intelligence, you understand that even logic has its limits, and that you don't have to submit to your logical brain all the time. It's there to help you, doesn't always need to have the final say. And sometimes you need to just go with your gut. Even if all of your analyses are telling you something else, when the gut speaks, you listen. And that philosophy, if you will, is going to get you very far. Maybe some of you are philosophers. This is so cool. I feel like your higher self is so excited. So excited. And you're making contributions to something over many lifetimes. We have the Three of Swords. As you progress on this path, and I know the Three of Swords is like a negative card, but for some of you, this may actually be a welcome message. What I was going to say is, as you progress down this path, there may be certain connections that you outgrow. Or certain connections that you outgrow. Or another way I could interpret this is that with what you're pursuing, with how busy you are, it may be harder to spend time with or keep in touch with certain people. You could just be very busy, or some of you could be traveling for work or relocating for work. And there may just be certain people whom you miss as a result of what you're doing. But I also get the feeling that maybe some connections are ending and you're welcoming that. There's a lot of swords, a lot of air energy. Some of you could have like really significant air placements, or air sign person is going to be really important to you, or multiple people. Oh my gosh, even more swords. Wow. I really do think for a lot of you, there is some message about a welcome ending. I feel like in order to align with this timeline, something in your life has to end. Something that is taking up a lot of your mental energy. A lot of you watching this could be feeling burnt out, or you could have some kind of responsibility, job, role that you're currently in that you just like dread showing up for. whether it's just a really big workload or the people you have to deal with are exhausting, that has to end. That has to end. It's going to end. And if you, like, the situation is going to be different for everyone, but if you're in a position where you can choose how and when it ends, I feel like your future self is saying, please don't wait until the moment where you're completely burnt out. Because you may just be coasting and saying like, oh, you know, this is hard, but I can do it for a little bit longer. I can handle it for a little bit more. I'm hearing you can quit while you're ahead. And I'm hearing that message again. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to quit while you're ahead. You don't have to wait until the last moment where you are completely depleted of your energy and you're just completely over it. It's not fair to you. You deserve to be enjoying what you're doing every day. Something has to end. It's like maybe a role that you're stepping down from. Some of you could be leaving a company or like cutting someone out. Like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. And there's a part of you that wants to like persist until it becomes impossible. But you're allowed to walk away even when it's still possible. You're allowed to walk away even before you're completely overwhelmed. Maybe future you is giving a bit of a warning message. Like if you were just waiting for a situation to end or waiting until you're completely burnt out, maybe it would take a long time to recover from that. And if you can be, because everyone's situation is different, but if you can be, maybe it's you who should be the one to make that call of like, okay, I'm going to step back now, rather than waiting for someone else to do it. Future you has released a lot of mental burdens, has released a lot of overthinking. And what's interesting is that your gut has probably already told you that it's time to walk away. And I think sometimes your mind tries to override what your gut says, which is common for all of us, but that might sometimes keep you in situations that you know deep down you don't want. Let's just get one more. Oh my gosh. Okay, so out of 6 cards, 5 of them are swords. That's crazy. Definitely let me know if you like have a lot of air in your chart, or maybe you just have like a really strong personal planet in your chart that's in an air sign. Or maybe an air sign is just like really, really important to you. If you have a person of interest who's an air sign, maybe this is like a big confirmation for you, but wow, that is really something. And you know what's really sweet? I feel like this could represent you and your higher self, or it could represent like, you know, this is you, this is your higher self, because we have the page and the queen here, or the queen is you and the page is your child self, or like your younger self. Because I see this page who's carrying these burdens, these mental burdens. This is making me emotional. I feel like my group 3s, you are sensitive, and maybe you've always been that way since you were little. Maybe you were kind of an anxious kid, or you were a worrier, or you were in a worrying situation. But I feel like these swords represent burdens that you're carrying, and then your older self or your higher self is like watching over you and protecting you, literally watching, having your back, right? And just wants to offer you this gift of listening to your gut and this gift of expressing yourself. I feel really emotional with this message. Some of you could be afraid of being perceived as impulsive, afraid of being perceived as too much. Some of you could be really afraid of being perceived as unintelligent or incompetent or something like that. Some of you could have grown up with a lot of pressure on you to excel. And that pressure remains even in adulthood, where you pick apart everything you do and feel like it's not enough. You probably hold yourself to a much higher standard than you need to or than others do. And I mean, you can hold standards for yourself as high or low as you want. That's your business. But it may be high to the point that it's causing unnecessary stress. You underestimate what you have to offer. Like, you might think, oh, I'm just saying whatever, I'm just doing whatever, but it's really valuable to people. And your higher self is offering you this gift of your gut. Like, when your gut speaks, you listen, and you're not afraid to act on it. It just feels like the biggest difference between future you and current you is just so much mental relief, so much overthinking being silenced, so much noise being silenced. And it's like when I want something, I said this at the start of the reading, like when something's in my heart, it's there for a reason. And I am completely validated to pursue it. Period. I just let myself feel what I feel and want what I want. And so looking back then, if you resonated with that message of like a senior person told me I shouldn't do this and I did it anyway and was very successful, that's such a healing moment. Like, that's such an important moment. Because maybe a previous version of you would have been like, you know, your gut is like really nudging you to go forward. And then some person says, no, that's a bad idea. And you're like, okay. And then you just kind of like, you know, retreat into the corner. I guess it was a bad idea. But no, like, this represents a moment where you stop doing that. Your gut doesn't ask other people for permission to feel how it feels. It just tells you the message in its purest form. And like, you're no longer afraid of claiming that. There could be a fire that you're reclaiming with this Ace of Wands. You're no longer afraid of being seen as whatever, bold, blunt, too much. Let people think you're too much. That's just as, indicative of how much they can carry. I'm also hearing that saying of people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves. And if someone can't meet you where you're at, why would you respond by making yourself more shallow? That's not on you. You can be as deep as you want, as big as you want, as a lot as you want, as extra as you want. And if someone can't hold that, like, that's okay. They can try to deepen their perspective, or they cannot try to. It's really up to them, but that is not your problem or your responsibility. You don't have to make yourself more like palatable or appeasing to anyone. Maybe you have some kind of hot takes or spicy takes that you're sharing, but you're right. I feel like with this Queen of Swords, like, you're right. You're just sharing the truth. And some people aren't ready for that, and that's whatever. But anyway, let's take a look at these final cards to get some advice for your having faith in this timeline and aligning with it. We have the number 11. Everything is a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. What do you need in your life that you're not currently getting? So, one of the pieces of advice for you to align with this timeline is to start honoring your needs, or continuing to honor your needs if you're already doing that. This could be a process that takes a little bit of time. It could be a process that takes a lot of time, depending on how long you've gone denying your needs, or if you went through an experience that was very emotionally intense that made you feel like your needs are not important, maybe it will take a bit of time to unlearn that, but you can and you will. That is a really big step to aligning with your desired timeline of free expression, of success, of I want to say of changing the world. What you have in this mind is changing the world. But you got to take care of yourself and validate your needs. And it's so important to release shame around what you need. You might need more than others. You might need different things than others. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in fulfilling your needs. And I'm sorry if you were ever told otherwise, or if it was modeled to you to ignore your needs. This is a really big step. There was that message earlier in the reading about everything is a mirror. So it's interesting that we got this. Everything is a mirror that tells you about yourself. And just remember too that the way people may perceive you, it says more about them than it does about you. We have flow like water. That is very interesting because there's so much air in your reading. And maybe we need a little bit of water. Like, you have air and fire in your spread, both of which are not really tangible. So maybe we need to balance that air and fire with water and earth, the denser energies, the more grounding energies. And I actually think every group today has gotten some message about grounding and being in your body, which makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of us struggle to do that in this fast-paced digital age. We can really get out of our bodies. And also because all of the outer planets right now, like Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they're all in fire and air signs. Not a whole lot of grounding energy going on right now. So maybe this message is just going to show up for all of the groups. Like, we just need to be more mindful of grounding ourselves. And also, you know, when your gut speaks, sometimes it might give you full instructions. Sometimes it might just give you partial instructions. Like, sometimes your gut might urge you to take an action and you don't really understand why or what it's going to lead to. Or your gut only gives you part one of the action and you're like, and then what? But just move with it anyway. And as you move, more information will come. I think flow like water just means stay moving. You can move very, very slowly, but just stay in motion. And we have inner strength. Oh my gosh, at first I thought this was a mountain, but it's a person. There's the face. It looks like, you know, when soil gets like dry and cracked, you need water. Maybe this is a literal message for some of you. Like, maybe you need to be hydrated. There's some water energy that is missing. Hydrate yourself, moisturize yourself. Maybe some of you could benefit from like taking baths or like bathing in an ocean or lake, or just being near a body of water. Being near a waterfall, that could certainly be very healing. But also, this looks, you know, like thirsty earth that needs a drink. This could also be something about replenishing yourself. You know, there was that previous message that I think many of you could be quite tired, especially mentally exhausted, and you could be burnt out or feel like you're heading towards burnout. And as hard as it can be to rest sometimes, I struggle with it as well. I think it would really benefit you aligning with your desired timeline, because with rest and with slowing down, a lot of things that need to be reflected on can then float up to the surface. A lot of things that need to be processed can then float up to the surface. And it doesn't mean you're stopping completely. You don't have to like drop everything to take a break. Many of us cannot even do that anyway. But just slowing down a little bit, even that can create room for things that need to come to the surface to come up, for inspirations, for intuitive nudges, for revelations. I feel like with this lightning, there is some genius inside of you or some download inside of you that is trying to pop out, but you need to slow down, nourish, and replenish yourself in order to hear it. Yeah, I think that is everything for my group 3s. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching. And I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself. Stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video. That is an original song. And also my latest release, which is finally something new. After many months, I made a new song. Well, it's a remix. It's a Dead Mouse remix. But if you want to listen to that, it's going to be down below. And thank you so much for supporting me and my channel and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, past, present, and future versions of you, to your higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Aura Amethyst, this is going to be your reading. The first thing we need to do is figure out whether this is your group. Like I mentioned in the intro, my intention with this reading is to allow future you, who is already on your desired timeline, to come forward and share these messages with us. So the first thing we're going to do is ask them to just describe your energy, and if what I'm describing here does sound like you or the version of you you are becoming, then that will be your sign that this is your group. So without further ado, let's get into it. Your first card is Yellow Rose. Enthusiasm and friendship. A single rose can be my garden, a single friend my world. Oh, and also this quote is by Leo Buscaglia. I don't know who that is, but Leo energy could be significant. The color yellow as well. This is a very happy card. I feel like future you is enthusiastic about life. Future you has their zest for life and their passion. Future you gets to spend a lot of time doing something that they're passionate about, and that is very fun to them. Oh wait, I'm gonna say you, because like it's them because it's future you, but that is you. You know what I mean? You are getting to spend a lot of time doing something that you are passionate about and that genuinely feels fun to you. I do feel like future you has united with their soul family, and I feel like the relationship department is just very blessed for you. You appreciate that you can spend your days surrounded by loved ones and that you can be truly present with them. There's still some hard times in life, but you don't have to go through them alone. You always know that you have your friends and your loved ones by your side, and they help to make the situations feel a bit lighter. There could be some really happy collaborations that you're having in the future, or I'm hearing a joint victory. I don't know, some big victory or big milestone that you are celebrating with loved ones. I was going to say teammates, interesting. With teammates, with friends, with family. You are successful and you're thriving and you're like celebrating it with other people. And that seems to be the most important part to you. You know, it's almost like if you had climbed to the top of the mountain by yourself, it wouldn't mean as much. But the fact that you're with your loved ones and, you know, they're there to celebrate with you, or maybe even like you did it together, that's the part that really makes you happy. So I feel like future you prioritizes connections, community, relationships, and that's an area of your life that is just really flourishing. And I think you have a lot of physical energy and vitality. on this timeline, and you could be into some physical activity. And I think also your mood baseline is just a lot higher. Like, I feel like you're genuinely just so happy. Look at the next card. After I just finished talking about how happy you are, we have joy. So don't worry, group 4, if you were worried about whether you'll be happy in the future. You absolutely are. And I'm noticing this angel has yellow stars on her face. So yellow could definitely be a significant color for this group. It just feels like a very joyful and cheerful color. And okay, I just heard in the future you're feeling one with the universe, but that's kind of a vague thing to say. But feeling the oneness with everything around you, and just feeling very grateful to be a part of it all. It feels like you're truly basking in the beauty of life. We have anchor with the number 43. You are firmly grounded in the new earth dimensional plane. Love it. Yeah, this group is definitely one that's giving a strong vibe of timeline shift. You are quite literally shifting to a new earth timeline that has a bright future. Every single group today as well has gotten a message about grounding and being in your body. And I was kind of wondering if that's just something that's important for all of us to hear. And this message is coming out for you again. So there's really something about your ability to be present on this timeline. You don't get lost in your head. You don't get lost in your worries. And if you are getting lost there sometimes, I feel like it's a lot easier for you to bring yourself back. If you have a mind that tends to get anxious or spiral with negative thoughts and worries and hypothetical scenarios, I feel like when your mind does drift off like that, you just have a lot of an easier time of bringing yourself back. And maybe it's like from experience, or you've just found a technique that really works for you. But you can get yourself back into your body and back into the present moment very quickly. There's also something about you sleeping a lot better, like having uninterrupted sleep, or like having more pleasant dreams, or maybe having a sleep with no dreams. That's very restorative and relaxing. I feel like your physical vessel is very healthy. Mentally, you're very healthy. And you're vibing and you're full of joy. And you get to do something every day that you're so grateful for. There's another group that had this message. Like, I'm so grateful I get to wake up every day and do this. I'm so grateful that this is what I get to do for a living. Like, you're definitely living your passion. Look at the next card too. So much life in you. And Peridot is the birthstone of Leo. So yeah, Leo energy could definitely be significant for this group. And I just think it's so funny that we're getting all these messages like enthusiasm, joy, so much life in you. I feel like future you is just, you spend most of your time in such a good mood and with so much vitality. And I feel like physically you're getting stronger. You're getting healthier. You want to do more because you have more energy to do more things. You could really enjoy, again, like exercising or going on adventures or going out in nature. And I feel like maybe there's been a lot of things that you've wanted to do, but you just can't muster up the energy to do them, whether that's physically or emotionally. Like, I want to do all these things, but it just feels so overwhelming. And now it's like you have the energy and the executive power to do them. A lack of energy could have really been holding you back in the past. And this version of you you're becoming, it's just like the version of you that you always envisioned if only certain obstacles weren't there, if only certain challenges weren't there. So yeah, something that could have really been affecting your mood, something that could have really been affecting your health, I feel like is going away. And so the barrier to you being who you've always wanted to be is going away. I think this version of you in the future feels very authentic. And with all of this Leo energy, like if this is not literally that you have Leo placements, I think this is about you really shining and creating and expressing yourself exactly how you want to. And you bring a lot of joy to other people as well with the way you express yourself. I'm just looking at these woodland creatures here, and it's kind of reminding me of like a Disney princess when she starts singing and all the animals gather around her. Maybe animals really love you, or they're going to be really drawn to you on this timeline because the energy you radiate is just so beautiful and warm and pleasant. But yeah, your joy is definitely infectious. So if this sounds like you or the version of you you're becoming, let's pull some tarot for you now to see what your life is going to be like and how it feels to live this life. I think it was group 1 who also had the Leo energy, but one thing I will say is that that could also be pointing to Leo season for a blessing coming into your life. So late July to late August. Hopefully that's soon from whenever you're watching. Wow, the first card that we have for you is the Emperor. So Aries energy could be significant as well. Yeah, like you're doing exactly what you want to be doing. I was wondering with the Leo energy if there was a message about you being a main character of sorts. And now that the Emperor is here, I definitely feel like you're meant to hear that message. I think on this timeline, you've found a way to allow yourself to shine and be the main character and prioritize yourself, and realize that that doesn't have to be inherently like a selfish or self-centered thing. And that in fact, you allowing yourself to shine as brightly as you can brings joy and inspiration to a lot of people. It benefits a lot of people. I'm hearing something about lead role. Maybe that's the case for those of you who are performers. You're landing the lead role in something, in a movie, in a play, in some kind of performance. Or you could be the main feature, the main attraction, the headliner of something. You're in a role where you're kind of at the top, or you are standing out the most. Like just as an example to illustrate the energy, I'm imagining, you know, when there's music festivals and then they release the lineup and the headliner's name is really big at the top, and then there's other artists and then their names are a bit smaller and a bit smaller and a bit smaller. I feel like in some way, energetically, you have that headliner role. Maybe you are in a leadership role or, the main role of something. You are being highlighted. You're coming to the front. Some of you could be in the same field as you are now, but you're switching from being more behind the scenes to now being in the front. For example, you used to work behind the camera and now you're working in front of the camera. You used to work backstage and now you're on the stage. I'm also thinking of people on YouTube who don't show their face. Like these videos, I often don't show my face. And now you are having the face reveal and you are becoming more visible in some way. And this could also be talking about you taking on a more independent role. So you could go from having a boss to being self-employed, or working for someone else to working for yourself, being part of a group to now doing something solo. Although I did see you collaborating with others and having joint victories, but This independence could be a sign that, like, no one can tell you what to do when it comes to how you work and how you express yourself. You can do whatever you want. Some of you could be breaking free from a contract that was really limiting you, or modifying the contract so that you have more freedom, it's more fair to you, or just signing a contract with someone else that gives you a lot more liberties, and that gives you a lot more credit. I feel like my group 4s, you've been overqualified in some field for a long time. Like professionally, maybe you're in a position that is well below your capabilities, or pay is well below your capabilities. You've been doing stuff that is just, it's easy. Some of you could be in a job that's easy, but it is also good money. But now the fact that it's easy is like, you're getting tired of it. I feel like the Emperor wants a challenge. The Emperor wants a new adventure. I feel like you're wanting to do something that is more in line with what you're actually capable of, because things just being easy and comfortable all the time is boring, and it doesn't allow you to really like show us what you're made of. It doesn't allow you to strut your stuff. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're did I say, yeah, overqualified is what I meant to say. I hope I said that. You're overqualified and underestimated. Yeah. I have a song stuck in my head right now. I think it's called If You Want Me, Say It. That could be a message for someone. And now I'm hearing, I know you gonna want me, but when you want me, it might be a different story. Ooh, someone missing their chance because they didn't say something? There's two people. I don't know who's who. Person A wants person B. I'm hearing a lot of songs now. I'm hearing, he wanted her, she never tell, secretly she wanted him as well. Like, person A wants person B. Person A doesn't say anything. Person B moves on. So if you are person A and you want someone and you're not saying anything, it's like they're not going to wait around forever. But the roles could be reversed. Someone wants you and you're not going to wait around forever for them. We have Two of Wands, more Aries energy. Yeah, you're either self-employed or you're doing some kind of independent venture or solo venture, or you just really call the shots with what you do. No one can tell you what to do. I think you do work and collaborate with other people, but it's only when you want to. No one can tell you who to work with, who you have to work with, who you have to listen to. That all is really your choice. You're expanding your activities. You're expanding your skills. So, for example, maybe right now, maybe you're getting another degree. Like you have one degree and you're getting another one. Or you're getting an extra qualification so that you can work in a broader range of environments, or so that you can step into a broader range of roles. Maybe you are building up your skills in a similar discipline. It's like, I don't know, if a guitar player learned how to play the violin. It's like, you know, they're both instruments, but I imagine kind of, well, there's a lot of transferable skills there, but it's also different. It's something like that. You know, I often feel with the Two of Wands, this kind of adjacent path where it is in the same vein as what you're already doing, but it will just open more doors for you. Oh, you know what else too? You're learning how to do something so that you can do it yourself and you can do it right. It's like whenever you ask someone else to do it, it's never quite how you want it. but you can't do it yourself. So you have no choice but to outsource it. And this feels like an energy of, you know what, I'm gonna take a few months or whatever. I'm gonna learn how to do this by myself. And then I don't have to leave it to someone else and then they do a job that is not satisfactory. Like maybe you are a model and you're like, I'm gonna learn how to edit my own photos, because when someone else edits my photos, I don't like how it turns out. And you know, that doesn't mean you can never ask someone else to do it, but you have the choice. Like me, for example, I learned how to mix records. So I could ask someone else to mix my record, and sometimes I do, because sometimes they're just really good and I love their work and I want to work with them, but I have the choice. I'm not bound to asking someone else to do it because I can't do it myself. And if I feel like I want to do it myself, then I can do it myself. It's just about having the freedom and having the option and, you know, more doors opening for you professionally, creatively, in terms of what you can do. And maybe it's something that seemed really difficult and overwhelming, and you're kind of proving to yourself that you can do it. A lot of you could be self-taught in something. I mean, you don't have to be, of course. If you wanted to take a class to learn a skill, you know, you can absolutely do that. But I do get the feeling with all this Aries independent energy, a lot of you could be self-teaching yourself a new skill, which is super badass. I'm also getting a message of you selling a lot of something. I don't know, selling a lot of product, or a business is going well, you sold more than you expected. Some of you could be making a career change where you're like, I know that I'm not going to make as much money doing this, but it's what I'm passionate about. And then you choose it and the financial results end up really surprising you. It's better than you thought, basically. We have 4 and 2 here, and then we have 4, 3 here. So I'm thinking like 42, 43. Maybe that's someone's age. We have Temperance. Okay, now we have all of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Shout out to those of you who have a lot of fire in your chart. And also, I just saw 2222. Maybe there's a significant counterpart or soulmate who has a lot of fire, or who just brings the fire into your life. I am noticing as well, the blue butterfly is being repeated. There is some kind of counterpart situation going on. Now, that doesn't mean you have to choose this person or you have to end up with this person. But it just exists, and that dynamic could be kind of running in the background in your life, inspiring you, energizing you. On this timeline, you could have opportunities to travel to different countries, to interact with people from all over the world. You could be learning a new language or mastering a language that you already know pretty well. It's also up to you how much or how little you work. So that's another strong sign of how free you are, and also that financially you're doing pretty good. You know, if you wanted to scale back on your work in a given week or a given month, you have the freedom to do that. You can listen to your body, basically. Like, okay, I'm feeling a bit tired, or I have a lot going on in this other area of my life. So you're very passionate about your work, but it's not everything. which is good. You are passionate, but I feel like future you is not so intense. You don't really get tunnel vision on things. You don't get obsessed with things. Temperance is very balanced and moderate and chill. You love deeply, but you don't lose yourself in the love. You feel passionate about something without getting obsessed with it. That's something future you is able to do. And maybe some of you have had a really, really strong attachment or an obsession in the past, whether that was towards a goal that you had or towards a person, a relationship. And I'm seeing it as a body of water, like a pond or something. And in the past, you may have felt, I cannot swim in this water without drowning. Like if I get in this water, I'm gonna drown. It's gonna pull me down. So I have to just get out of the water. Like very all or nothing. If I engage with this, I'm gonna get pulled in. I'm gonna become obsessed. So I just have to walk away from it. But future you is learning how to swim. This is just one example to illustrate the energy. And I will also say, please use your personal discernment, because the thing you're engaging with or not engaging with could be different for everyone. And this is not me like recommending that you go back to engaging with something if that's not good for you. But to illustrate this energy, it's kind of like if somebody had to stop everything tarot related because they found that they would kind of get obsessed with checking on things, obsessed with pulling more cards, and really get emotionally invested in the message, and a negative message could like completely ruin their day and they would start spiraling about it. Like it was just too intense, and maybe this person couldn't really find a way to engage with it without getting intense like that. So they said, okay, I just have to stop. I have to take a break. I have to just not do anything tarot related. And that's probably what was good for them for some time. And I just feel this energy like you're learning how to engage with it in a healthy way again. So in this example, maybe now this person can really just like pull a couple cards once a week and take the message with a grain of salt, you know, just kind of keep it in their mind and then, that was nice, and move on with their life and not think about it anymore. They're getting to a place where they're able to do that. Now, whether or not you want to re-engage with something or someone, that's entirely up to you. But I think that Temperance is showing you've reached that centeredness and that chillness internally, that if you were to engage with it again, you wouldn't like drown, you wouldn't get pulled under. I hope that that makes sense. It could even just be a message of something that used to trigger you a lot is not doing so anymore. Personally, I notice now when I read negative comments, it's just like, Whereas in the past, I would spiral about them for days. You really do. It's like something in you is mellowing out. You don't have such an intense reaction. And this is not the same thing as numbing. It's really just a mellowing out. The pendulum swing has become less violent. So in that example, you might read a negative comment and be like, that wasn't very nice. Oh well. And then like go walk your dog kind of vibes. If you resonate with being a person, like you were obsessed with maybe a connection, you could be seeing this person again and just being like, oh, hi. And you're able to just be very level-headed in the situation. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Should we just go for it? Let's just take all of these. Oh wait, but they came out in this order. We have the Six of Wands. Group 1, who was also having all that Leo energy, also got the Six of Wands, which is a Leo card. I bet you Leo season is going to be a blessed time for you, Group 4, like late July to late August. And if you're watching this in 2026, Jupiter is entering Leo on June 30th and is going to be there until like mid 2027. So that in general could be, like, this could be a really good year for you. We have the Hermit, the Devil, the Empress, okay, Major Arcana, the Nine of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. Yes, there are strong vibes of like collaborating with a soul family. Super cool. And when you collaborate with the right people, and when you're collaborating because you genuinely resonate with these people and not because like your boss is making you work with these people. Okay. It's like all the stuff that is usually annoying about working in a group will not be a factor when you are working with the right people. You have some kind of professional or creative soulmates is the vibe that I'm getting, and you just work together really, really smoothly. Some of you might think that you don't like working in a team or that you're not good at working in a team, and not to be that like, you just haven't found the right person kind of guy, but I think you really could have pleasant experiences collaborating and working in a group. The things that you had once found annoying about working with others could have just been that those people were annoying or that you're just incompatible. Like, yeah, that's a nicer way to say it, that you're just like incompatible with them. Because I just see you in the future, like, I love my team, I love my friends, I love the people I work with. Like, you're truly feeling blessed to have this community. And for those of you who are introverts, I feel like your people on this timeline really respect your need for solitude and really respect your need for retreating and recharging, and they don't take it personally. If you are in an energy where you're just kind of quiet and observing and listening, they don't take that personally. I don't see people like, why are you being so quiet? Are you upset? Oh, you don't want to come out again? What's wrong? Like, they're just, okay, Group 4 needs some time alone and we respect that. Or Group 4 has a low energy today. Group 4 has a low mood today, so we're going to let them do their thing. Like, you don't need to come out of your shell more than feels comfortable. It's like they just respect whatever you need in the moment. Maybe you've had experiences working or creating in groups before where it was almost like they're trying to pressure you to act out of character, trying to pressure you to behave in ways that are unnatural, trying to pressure you to kind of be out of your element. Even if you're not an introvert, I just feel like the people around you really respect your needs and respect your need for, like, I was going to say need for privacy. Did some of you have like meddling people around you before, or nosy people around you? I don't know. But they respect your need for privacy. They respect your need for solitude. Some of you could be growing in the public eye. Just take that if it resonates, like growing a fan base. If this resonates with you, I want you to know that your fans seem to be very chill people who, again, respect your need for privacy and understand that your personal life is your personal life, and understand that you're human and you also need to rest and recharge. And I just feel like there's been some social dynamics for you in the past where people were like poking and prodding you and trying to get more out of you that you didn't have it in you. Like, be more like this, be more like that, show more energy, give us something. And you're like, I'm tired. Like, I just want to go be by myself, and whatever. You get the point. I just think your people really respect whatever you need energetically. And we do know that on this timeline, you have a lot of physical energy and vitality, but that will not be taken for granted, you know? If you have fluctuations in your energy levels or in your mood, that's totally fine. I don't get the sense that the people around you expect you to be up all the time and energized all the time and happy all the time. It's just not possible. And some of you could have been feeling drained and exhausted because it always felt like others were expecting you to perform in a certain way. And when you're left alone and just left to be authentically yourself, your battery will charge up again very fast. Now, I know I just spent a long time talking about how you should take all the time you need to be alone, but I also think that in this future timeline, you are learning how to not pull away or isolate yourself when you need help. Like, I just want you to know that even though your need for solitude and your desire to retreat would be totally respected, you're also always welcome. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm in a bad mood today, so I'm gonna isolate myself because I don't want to bring other people down. It's like, no, you can come and hang out with us, and you can come be with us, whatever vibe you happen to be in today. If you're feeling in a bad mood, you can just be with us and be in a bad mood. Like, you don't have to feel like you need to put on a smile or force being energetic to not bring the vibe down. Like, whatever vibe you're in, that's totally fine. I love this. What a wonderful support system you have. You may still have a bit of a lingering habit of, oh, like, I should go retreat and be by myself when I'm not feeling my best. Like, I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want to burden anyone, or things like that. But also, I think one of the reasons you could have been avoiding being in the group and being in the social situations is because you're just anticipating, like, they're going to expect me to put on a show and show that I'm all happy and bouncy and energetic. And it's like, nope. You can just come and be you. I feel like this Empress card is just talking about the unconditional love that you're experiencing and that you're so grateful for. And I feel like there's people who you know personally who love you, like the people in your life, but maybe even people who don't know you that personally or who haven't met you, at least in the 3D, who love you and are sending love your way. So yeah, some of you could have a little bit of a public following. Like, there's people out there who wish you well and are sending you love, even if you're not really, like, personally in each other's lives. And I also think this message can be extended to soul family members that you just happen to have not met in the 3D yet. They still love you unconditionally. They're still sending you love. I think the Empress is just about you on this timeline realizing how loved you are and your cup feeling very full. And when you're not expected to pour from your cup all the time, then your desire to pour it of your own will comes back. Yeah. So finally, let's look at these cards for advice on how you can have faith in this timeline or how you can best align with it. We have, don't run from the darkness, embrace your shadow side. What aspect of yourself have you been afraid to look at or address? So as we move to this new timeline, all of the parts of you are coming with us. You're going to take your whole self. So I think the version of you who exists on your desired timeline is saying that you're still the same person. You didn't change in order to become this lovable person. You didn't change in order to become this person who receives unconditional love. It's like, no, you're the same. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your light, your shadow, you're bringing all of it, and all of that is being loved. So I don't really see you having to leave parts of yourself behind or leave certain baggage behind. In fact, maybe you're reclaiming it. You're reclaiming it and taking it with you. You're learning to love parts of yourself that you haven't loved in a long time. This is reminding me, a couple nights ago, I was getting anxious about something, and I felt like my anxiety was disproportionate. Like I was having a disproportionate reaction to something. And I realized that what I needed in that moment was not to just like soothe the anxiety or find a way to stop thinking about it. But I realized that the part of me who was having this anxious reaction just really wanted to receive love. And that's why it was like so loud. So I overcame the anxiety by just loving that part of myself. I don't know if that's something that could help you, but if you're ever feeling like, man, my reaction to this is bigger than I would expect, or like the anxiety I'm feeling about this seems kind of disproportionate to what actually happened, maybe reflecting on what part of me is voicing this concern, what part of me is screaming this worry. Maybe it's you from a certain period of your life. Maybe it's a certain need that you have. But it's screaming because it just really wants to be seen and loved. And, you know, techniques to soothe the anxiety kind of miss that. Like, I'm kind of glad I didn't just go, okay, I'm feeling anxious. Like, I'm going to take some deep breaths. Like, yes, it's good to feel better, but maybe I would have missed the opportunity for reflection. Like, that anxiety was some part of me screaming, like, look at me, love me, validate me. And then I did. And then after a while, everything was okay. So if you're thinking you're going to leave some part of you behind to align with this timeline, I don't think that's the case. And in fact, in order to align with this timeline, I think you have to regroup and recollect all the parts of you and show them some love. The matter, becoming your dream self is not a matter of getting rid of your weaknesses or like, I need to stop being this way. I need to stop doing this. It's like, no, I need to love the part of me that is doing that. They're trying to tell me something. We have positive affirmations. Maybe this is a bit literal, and this is not me just suggesting you get a tattoo, but some of you could be getting one that serves as a nice reminder to yourself, or maybe you already have one that you need to revisit because it has a nice message for you. I have some tattoos like that, but they just kind of become part of your body, and then you kind of stop registering them and registering what it says. So if you already have some, maybe revisit those, or some of you could be getting a new one as a reminder to yourself. Again, that's your decision. I'm not like telling you to do that. But yeah, this message about embracing your shadow side with positive affirmations, I definitely think this is about changing the story that you've told about certain aspects of your personality. Because the trait itself is neutral. It's our mind and our ego that assigns the positive or negative meaning. And you are allowed to tell a different story about that part of you. You are allowed to see it as a strength. You are allowed to see it as something beautiful. And you can use it for good. You can use it to uplift the collective. A big thing here is telling a different story about one of your traits or one of the parts of you that you've been kind of trying to push away. And it could be kind of deeply rooted for some of you. Like you've maybe even sort of built your healing journey and your evolution journey around eradicating this part of you when that was never the point. It was actually about embracing it. And we have grounding. Every group has gotten this message of grounding. A forest environment could be super healing for you because we have this tree and we have these woodland creatures. Oh, and we also have anchor with these tree roots. The tree roots are making me think of a family tree. Things that you've inherited. Maybe you're healing something that you inherited from your parents or your grandparents. Now I'm thinking of, you think you just fell out of a coconut tree? But like, no, you exist in the context group 4. Like, there may be certain habits or thought patterns that you play out and you judge yourself for them. Like, why do I do that? Why do I do that? When in fact, it could be something inherited. And it's not fair to single yourself out for that being perpetuated. And also could be things that you've inherited from the previous generations in society. It doesn't have to be just your individual family. But, you know, if there's some kind of chaos within or negativity within, it's unfair to blame yourself for that. Because just existing here on this earth, you pick up on a lot of negativity just by nature of being here. And I think it provides comfort to some of us to believe that, oh, if I just advance on my spiritual journey enough, one day I'll be above all of this and my energy will be so pure and these things will never affect me again. But I don't think that's the point. I think we pick up on positive things and negative things, and we just have to love ourselves through it and not judge ourselves too harshly as we're learning how to navigate it. I hope that made sense. But anyway, I think those are all the messages that I have for you, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. And if you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have linked down below my Instagram and my music channel. And I do have a new song on there. I haven't updated it in a very long time, but I made a new remix. It's a Deadmau5 remix, so that's down below if you wanted to listen to that. And over there we also have the intro song of this video. That is an original song too. So thank you so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, your past, present, and future versions of you, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!